Good afternoon, this is Bob from Trade Genius. It's the 13th of September, and I'm back in the office. I left Friday night. Actually went up to northern Nevada to the Black Rock Desert, if people are familiar with that. That's where Burning Man is every year. Burning Man's over, but they're going to be cleaning it up for the next 2 months. And I have a really good friend who's is a rocket scientist, and his son is a naval officer, and they had some free time, and I went and joined them up there to shoot some of their rockets that go 50,000 feet or higher. I've done this 3 or 4 times in my life. It's just a fun trip, a little long, but a lot of fun. And came back yesterday. We actually got even a huge thunderstorm, 40-mile-an-hour winds, rained on what they call the playa. We were worried that maybe we're going to get stuck there until it dried out, because you can't drive, you'll just sink in. But within 2 hours of the sun coming up, the lake was already dry enough to get off of it. So a lot of fun. If you ever have a chance to see a real rocket launch, just go up there sometime. Really, really a neat thing to do. So anyway, I digress, but that's why no video yesterday. And but I had my PC with me, and I was able to follow the markets, and I noticed also on Twitter that the cryptos currencies are under mainstream assault. This means that it's probably getting close to another buy. The bankers are really afraid when Jamie Dimon comes out, and just in general. See, one thing about the cryptocurrencies, or I am renaming them the non-bank currencies, is that there's no futures market for them. They can't sell it short and have coins. It's difficult for them to counterfeit these. So the only thing they have is to use the news media and shout it down. And so you have Jamie Dimon calling it a fraud. You have Kolanovic from I think I don't know if he's Merrill Lynch. I think B of A Merrill Lynch. He's calling it a Ponzi scheme. You can't have a Ponzi scheme if there's only so many coins, and you know how many coins are being created. So these are fear words. The Chinese are trying to clamp down, but this is a worldwide phenomenon, and not every country is on board with trying to slow this down or to stop this. And a lot of it is because they fear. You only have to have a small percentage of the population adopt these non-bank currency digital coins, and the bankers are dead. Amex, MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, any what a payment system, if it routes through a bank, it's gone. It's not going to take Walmart too long to figure out that either A, I'll threaten to have my own coin and token, or I'll use a Litecoin, which I think is already positioned for that, use their network, and I cut 2.5 percentage points off of the fees that are charged, because you have to have a bank involved, you have to have a merchant, a provider involved, you have to have a processor involved. You don't need any of that stuff, and it's really going to cause havoc into people that are very, very, very used to collecting very high rents for doing very little work. And I think the banks see that. And the other thing you noticed about the banks yesterday, they're talking about their trading revenue plummeting. They're screaming about the market selling off. I think they're really, really worried that they've lost their ability to steal, and these cryptocurrencies are going to make it even harder. And we trade these, and the reason I'm talking about today is that I wasn't going to be back till towards the end of the week, but we put a special out. We'll let you in the trading room for free for a year, and you're going to make a lot of money trading these coins. And we have a half off special running on this, so you even get, you'd be paying 25% of what the room would cost for a whole year's access. And plus we teach you what this is all about. It's really, really a bargain. And I follow primarily, I'm a Litecoin guy. I like that the best. And I have a drip program in, but I pull the cash when I think it's overbought, and then I buy back when I think it's oversold. And because we're traders at heart, we're not bull tards, we're not bear tards, we're profit tards, and we want you guys to to make money, and this is going to be moving fast. So we don't care so much that it's moving up and down. If we can catch close to the bottom and catch close to the top, you can make a lot of money over I think the next 6 to 9 months are going to be just absolutely spectacular for this, as more and more products start to come out. And this whole Chinese thing is, after the Chinese Congress is over, I have friends that are in that part of the world. Chinese are going to come back to this thing in a big way. The Russians are already in it in a big way. And you have Singapore, and you have Japan, and all these other countries are adopting this as a standard, as part of their protocols for business and transactions. So anyway, I just wanted to show you kind of a little bit what I do is that I use a stochastic, I use volatility stops, and I use a moving average to help me get in and get out. And when it got to this overbought area here, is that I was long from the last roll higher and got out around $79. You can't catch the tops and bottoms, and I'm not going to be up 24 hours a day. And I usually don't set stops because they'll reach down and get those. So and plus I trade these in markets they're kind of illiquid, so they'll reach down and grab your stop and move it right back up. So I just sit there and when I'm awake, I'll put a stop. So if I miss being out by $2 or $3 either way, I'm not too worried about it because the ranges on these things are huge. And so my goal was to get back in around 57, and it was just a retracement level. And just so you notice here is that it went down and got down to 58 and got oversold, and I went ahead and I bought, and when the crossover happened at 60, and my target right now is I'm going to take a good hard look at it at 60, because we're still counter trending here on the moving average. It's still drifting down, and in case it tries to bounce this thing and come down again, this is kind of a bull bear line for me. So I'll take a look at it there. If it pushes through and it gets up to 68, I may take half off and evaluate. But this is the kind of information that I provide, and my partner, who's in the room 24/7, he's always talking through what's going on with Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum. There's 2 or 3 of what we call the altcoins that those guys trade that are making people a lot of money. And you're talking about Populous, and you're talking about OMG. And so these things move really fast. You need a partner, a mentor, and you could pay for the whole year's worth of the training courses in a week or two, just following some of our trades. So I thought I'd share that with you, because Friday I'm gonna turn it off, and we've had very, very good response, and I think we're probably not charging enough for this, but we thought we'd throw it out there while people are interested in this to get in on this. I think a lot of people are going to be really disappointed in a year. This is not a bubble that's crashing. It's just beginning, but it's going to be a wild ride, and we'll try to help you through it. So let me flip over to the market here real quick. So there was some weakness today in the beginning with Apple. I don't think people like their I think it was who's going to pay $1,000, $200 for this stuff. I know people say, Bob, people will, but this is a company that's already $800 billion in market cap, and we're going into a recession. So I think, it broke the VWAP here, it's coming up, it's getting overbought again, and if it breaks below today's low, if it breaks below today's low before it breaks over to VWAP, then I think we're getting another leg down. I think we're pretty close. I think people are waiting now for the Fed meeting before they sell off, and one of two things are going to happen there, right? So either they start pulling back their balance sheet, which is going to crash the market, or they're not, and then you're going to see the dollar collapse. And so we have trades for either one, and we're just going to wait on those guys and then try to just grab opportunities when we can, and that's what Microsoft. Ironically, Microsoft, I think, is the best of the FANGs right now. They're more diversified, and you kind of see it in the way they trade. But it doesn't move that much. It looks like an impressive chart, but $1 does not thrill me. Facebook hasn't really done anything since their earnings report. Amazon, this company's simply, it's a speculative fever. This is a bubble right here. This is a bubble. And so is overbought again, and look for it to come right back down again. And I think they're just using it to push SPY and the Qs and all that stuff higher or flatter. Here's NVIDIA. They call for NVIDIA is the chip for the Bitcoin world, and then they call Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme, down 30%, but NVIDIA keeps moving higher. So don't listen to what these crooks say. Look what they buy and what they do. They want to get in on this thing. They've totally missed the boat, and I think people don't believe the bankers anymore. I think Netflix, they're probably topped on this move. Here's another company makes no money. The more they do, the more they lose. This is simply a... Sorry, 1 second. It is simply a move to jam it with passive investors. But this company is gonna implode because they lost their biggest customer. So those guys are evaluating out 5 years. I don't get it. So you can get all the subscribers you want at zero, but it doesn't pay the bills. Tesla, China said they're going to go all electric vehicle, and so Tesla goes up. They're going to be buying Teslas in China. I think they sold all the Teslas they're going to sell in China. China's going to knock off Tesla and sell the car for half price. I don't know what people are thinking. Okay, here's the Qs. That was a last minute move here to push it slightly positive. Definitely getting overbought. Gold's down to VWAP, so we'll see what happens tomorrow on it. I closed my dust puts out. I'm waiting to, not my dust puts, my nugget puts out, and I'm waiting to look to see if I'm going to get into dust puts here pretty soon. Okay, I had to close out my IWM credit spread on Friday, I think it was, whenever it hit the bottom end of my spread, and I went ahead and put 143, 145 on for next Friday. I got almost 40 cents for it, and we're definitely overbought. And I think it's I have $1.50 on the trade here to see before I get into the money on it. So we'll just watch. It looks overbought to me. I think it's going to weaken. This is the next take. I'm going to take FAS puts, and I think it's coming. The bankers are telling us they're not making any money, and they still get pushed up. It's just bizarre world we're in today. So I'm watching for a turn on FAS, and I'll be buying FAS puts. Okay, push through. We got out of our XLE. It's grinding higher too. It's moving up with the price of oil, but oil's getting pretty close to a $50 target range anyway. So I think this will start to relax going into the winter. A little lower high there in XLK. GG pushed down here pretty hard. I think in the next day or two we're going to be getting back into maybe AG again, and I'll be recommending WPM again. Okay, so 1985 would be a good area to buy back into WPM, and I sold some more calls against my position, and I'm just continued to do so until we turn back higher, and I'll take those trades back off again and keep lowering my cost basis. I'm nicely profitable on this trade. SLV probably will get pushed down tonight to VWAP. So this is what part of caused Wheaton to have some issues here. They're probably lifting up. But when I could take a look at the 10-year, they probably lifted the yield, which puts pressure on WPM. That's not going to last. So here's some of the gas company and uranium company. They got overbought. Now they're consolidating. This got really overbought. Last week I pointed that out. It's back to VWAP, but this thing could fall all the way back down to 360, 365 area. So no big hurry yet to recommend it. Biotech's doing nothing. Like I said, Nugget. I think Nugget hit pretty thing. I don't think it's going to get down to 35. I'll just watch to see what happens tomorrow. If it does push it down to 35, I'm definitely going to be buying dust puts. They grinded this thing down to super oversold on the VXX, UVXY. Just amazing. When this thing snaps back, it's just so scary. Okay, so like I said, I'm just waiting on this. I like to see these Stokes roll over and then see if I can pick up a $4 or $5 move down. Pick up $1,000 or $2,000 on some puts. KAG sitting at its VWAP. It's holding up pretty well considering what's happening to everybody else. Start looking to buy here and add to here. Unless I get a buy signal, then I'll just buy. XIV is at super top of the range. I mean, they just, it's so funny. I mean, you just say, well, why don't we just take the trade? It's easy to look back on these things, but it's pretty damn scary. If there's ever a big turn in volume one day, XIV can actually go bidless and they can actually close it. You're an unsecured creditor at that point for the fund because they had to pay out. And so just FYI on that. That's one thing that scared me right now about XIV being so incredibly leaning overbought and that this thing can literally happen. And somebody's sitting here, 1,000 shares of XIV at $90,000 and wake up the next day and get a notification from your broker that XIV has closed trading, and then that the fund has closed, and you have to then wait to get your money back as an unsecured creditor after the people who own the liabilities get paid off. It's not going to be a happy day, and we're so leaning the wrong way that's definitely in the realm of possibility, especially when you're pushing the VIX down under 10. If all it has to do is have a VIX pop from, like 9 to 16 or 9 to 15, and in one day, and we've come close now a couple times in the last couple weeks now, that you get a 7 point move in the VIX in one day on some news, and then you end up zero here. Can you imagine the unwind that'll happen? That's why I said it's not worth it right now. Just let it settle. The dollar is selling off. Wasn't Jamie Dimon. You got to remember, these things are priced in dollars. Dollars became more valuable, so the non-bank currencies become less valuable. I mean, this is simple stuff. The rest of that stuff is noise. They're trying to cause a cascade. I think oil's at the end of a range here too. I think small caps are as well. DBA, nice little bounce, I think, on the strength of coffee. This is the economic growth reflation trade thing. Had a nice move back to VWAP. Now do we reflate because Yellen blinks? Or does this thing collapse with the market when Yellen starts buying back the balance sheet? Or I should say selling off the balance sheet. UNG's pushed up pretty overbought. Saw an article on the contango effect of UNG. UNG kind of works the opposite of XIV. It struggles to go up. Okay, so when you get these big moves like this, you're better off looking to sell calls against this, and I probably will tomorrow for next Friday, and take advantage of the way the futures market works with natural gas against UNG. FAZ. Okay, oil. I guess there's dust. I'm pretty close. I'll probably put it on tomorrow and put it on for I may go out 2 weeks on this one, 2.5 weeks, and maybe buy the 20. And so I'll just wait to see tomorrow. My hope would be that they'll push this up just a little bit higher, and then so I get in a little bit cheaper, and then let this thing pull back down again. It's been a good trade for us all year, for the most part, to get in these nugget and dust puts. We're still in TWM here, and the stop is below the low here for today, and I think it's going to hold. They pushed down FXY again, but it's at the bottom of its range again too. They threw all the stops out. It's pretty funny. JJG held up here a little bit, back over VWAP. It needs to move back over. My average price is 26.25. This is like a multi-year hold for me. ERA pretty flattish. Just tech again. That's unusual for an ultra short to be flat like that. Copper, whack, whack, whack. It's amazing. So copper should tell you everything you need to know about where do you think the future of inflation and economic growth is. Beautiful move on coffee. Beautiful move. But it's getting extended here now, so it may pull back. But I have to read if this is anything to do with the crops. I've been pounding the table that they've been suppressing coffee prices. The crops have been awful, and I'm looking for coffee to be in the 30s. Joe, I should say. UGA. So I'm gonna roll my puts. They lost a lot of their value already, but I'm looking for gasoline to get down to 155 here sometime before October. I think we're going to get a big build next week because huge build in oil, really tight inventory this time on gasoline. When all the refineries are back open, we're out of the driving season, and I think we're going to get a nice push down in gasoline. I'm still corn. Like I said, on Friday, I'm buying my second contract for December and sitting on it, and I'm looking to make good profit on corn here going into the winter. I'm watching lithium, waiting for this fever to break a little bit. This is the whole world's going off carbon-based automobiles, which is hilarious because the only way they're going to be able to produce enough electricity is going to be with coal. People are idiots. They think we're idiots, and so they're still going to have to mine coal or natural gas because solar and wind are not going to do it, and they have an aversion to nuclear. So we just have the wrong idiots in charge. You could win a totally nuclear electrical scheme, and electricity costs would be in the floor. Everybody would be driving electric cars, and so anyway, sorry. Let me see. I'm almost done here. I'm also watching the rare earths, and let me just check TNX and I'll let you guys go here. There's sugar working well. Wheat's holding up. Soybeans holding up. And let me just type it in. Yep, like I said, they pushed it up to 220 for a 10-year. That was a pretty oversold move, but I think it's going to push back down again. And like I said, when it gets below 2, you can go ahead and refi your home mortgage. So anyways, Bob, Trade Genius, I'll